And the second thing that we got was actually at the beginning of the show. Again, pardon me because I had to switch it because, you know, we might have a bit more to say about this one. But we got the reveal. It's happening. It's on the way. Borderlands 4 has officially been announced for 2025. We got the trailer and everything was going down. When, talk to me. How do you feel?
I was not moved. I very much was not moved. I watched it and I thought to myself, hey man, this is, I don't know. Like, that's the way I felt. Like, I was just watching it, like, as much as I love Borderlands, and I do, I really, really do. I just didn't feel like it was, not necessarily not that it was the right time, but just don't know if they really care that much to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want this to be rushed. I got a cinematic trailer with no real context. I know the context, and I'm aware of the context. Yeah, Shawty's alive. She moved the moon. Cool. I don't know. Go ahead.
Go finish your thought.
I don't know if I trust them after Tiny Tina's. And it's not even that Tiny Tina's was a bad game. The game was just kind of mid, which isn't a bad thing. I wasn't really moving like that, you know? Like, I still need to go back. I do want to go back because the game was fun to play, but like, I remember playing that game and people would be talking on the comms and I don't even see a portrait of them. And I'm like, God, like, what is even, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that was just like, it felt like that game was a little rushed, if you ask me. And that's my biggest issue, is that my biggest issue with this game is that, like, you're telling me a game that I never heard of is being announced in what, August? That in 2025 the game will release. You're gonna release this game in 2025? Are you insane? You know how many games are releasing in 2025? Yeah. And if you're announcing this in August, that means you're gonna probably release in what?
Back to that
December?
feeling. God, everything's dropping in 2025.
Like, why are you doing this?
I forgot about that, bro. Okay, I will say this. I was not fully moved until I realized that we might actually finally get the Iridian War that was teased so long ago. I completely forgot about that, but then I realized, bro, we might actually get that, and we might see Iridians back fully. You know what I'm saying? Like Borderlands 1, the Iridian Promontory, like that whole thing, we were really like up and against it, not just fighting one boss, but like we really up and around it. You know what I'm saying? Like the end of, I think it was, they were in Borderlands 2, they're like some DLC, whatever the fuck, I can't remember, but I remember they were the end of the pre-sequel. One of them was, but besides the point, we fully might actually get the Iridian War, which I've been excited for a very long time as a Borderlands fan. That's something I've wanted to see play out in real time. That's great. But in the context of how Borderlands has been released, Tales from the Borderlands 2 wasn't fantastic, wasn't received fantastically well. Borderlands 3, the clusterfuck that we all know. What's it called? Borderlands, Tiny Tina's as well. Tiny Tina's, I think, was an upturn. I think it was better, but I think it just needed something more. And again, same way, we got to go back and finish that because we were playing through it together, and it just wasn't all the way there. And after the movie, I'll say it one more time, the movie, Borderlands as a brand is not in the greatest state. It's not. We can call spade a spade. They have to deliver, and specifically, the story has to deliver. The gameplay of Borderlands 3 was, to me, I think it was best in class. I think it actually felt very, very good. The gameplay was fantastic. That was what I wanted to see. But the fact that the story took steps backwards and it never really fully recovered, because Tiny Tina's, again, it's mostly from Tiny Tina's view of you know, I'm about to say Dungeon Badass. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. There isn't enough weight in those two games to say, hey, we're really pushing for something that's truly fantastic in the range of Borderlands 2. And I think that's the toughest thing here. Can you build that narrative? Can you drive home this narrative? Can you go to home plate and build that narrative that's as good as Borderlands 2, if not better, on top of having best-in-class gameplay beyond Borderlands 4, having characters that are, again, engaging beyond, beyond Borderlands 2? Like, can you build that back up? Can you build back up and surpass Borderlands 2? That's my standard of bearing. That's what it has to be. for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And they're fighting uphill. They're running uphill right now with so much stuff against them with the past games not being as well as they could have been. The movie freaking bombing. I still gotta go watch that just and honestly take years off my lifespan hating that thing. Or maybe like it. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. I doubt I will, but I'm just saying that for fair argument's sake. Borderlands 4 has a lot of work to do to earn trust back and show that they are ready to surpass and potentially be the best game in the series. But I'm a little bit excited. Was I moved slightly when I realized the ramifications of the story? And we got to see where we are from there. We got to move, man. Borderlands, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not really super excited for it. I'll buy it, don't get me wrong. I'll probably buy it on release if the gameplay is still the same, but their story has been so bad as of late, and it's been tiring. So like, and if it's a game that I can't get into, then it is what it is.
Yeah, it's tough, bro, because again, Borderlands is one of my favorite series of all time, and I think people have said this before. A lot of videos who've covered the games before have said this. Like, Borderlands 3 was kind of that tipping point where it just became too much of the comedy and not enough of the weight. Because to go from Borderlands 2 and Tales from the Borderlands, where I think there was a great balance between the morbidness and the craziness of the world and taking emotional beats and still having them in there and kind of keeping it balanced with the comedy and the cringe and all that stuff. The comedy and cringe, all that stuff that Borderlands does is palatable. It's digestible as long as there's those balancing moments of emotion, weight, seriousness to it, because it happens. Borderlands 2, one of the best games I've ever played. I'll still stand on that because it had that balance. Just disappeared with Borderlands 3 and hasn't really shown up fully since. And we need that. That's the biggest component. The story has to have that balance, and it has to have that in abundance to really, really drive home we're back. So we'll see.